All right, fight fans, welcome back to another episode of Tarps Off MMA. I'm your host, Chris Mancuso, joined as always by Jack Gotsell. Jack, we had fun Saturday night. We were hashtag fight drunk, had a few pink Whitneys and took in UFC 258. Usman Burns. Usman holds the title. We'll start off right off the hop, though. I think it was a hilarious start to the card. Julian Marquez defeats Pitolo in the third round via submission, and he gets the time. He does his interview. You're waiting for a call out, and he says, "Miley Cyrus, will you be my Valentine?" That was funny as hell. I know you were like, "Bro, call out a fighter," but I was like, "Nah, for like his rep, this is what he should do for his name and stardom." But Jack. So anyway, after the event happens, she sees it. Miley Cyrus says, "Shave MC in your chest hair and we'll do it. Congratulations, my love." That's a win, right? Obviously, the natural thing to do is get the MC waxed into his chest hair, vlog or video record himself on the date with Miley Cyrus. No, man. He tells her to then get a tattoo like right above her cooter that says his nickname. Like he blew it. He fumbled it, dude. He could have, dude. Miley Cyrus is like in the top 10 most searched things like on the internet, like Miley Cyrus.
And I thought it was stupid to call out Miley Cyrus and not a fighter because I was figuring Miley Cyrus would never respond to this guy, but she does. And then he drops the ball on it. He has the perfect marketing campaign just sitting at his doorstep and he doesn't take it. Just shave the MC and then like hit her back up.
Exactly, man. What was he thinking? I don't know what he was thinking. That was crazy. It would have been like, a smart return on his money. Speaking of returns, Kevin Gastelum returned, Jack, and got a win. It's been a rough road since that good performance against Israel Adesanya. Take us through that one. Is he back or not yet?
So he won this one. It was very close. He didn't starch this guy, and this is a fighter that's pretty not well known. He's
probably going to end up in the next round of cuts here.
He very likely could. And I think if Gastelum lost this fight, he was going to be cut. So now Dana has to put him in another fight versus a top 10, top 15 guy. And how will Gastelum fare? I think he loses that next fight, and then I think he's probably cut after that. If I don't know his contract could be coming up. I'm not really sure on that, but if he doesn't win his next fight, he's back in trouble again for sure. And he didn't look terrific.
No, it wasn't a convincing victory. I mean, he won. The decision was fair, but it wasn't convincing. If that makes sense.
It didn't make me think that he can take on one of these top 10 guys and get back to contender status. Like Kevin Gastelum is not even close to a contender right now.
No, I agree with that.
Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah.
Kevin.
That's okay, man. No, Kelvin Gastelum's good shit. We saw a fantastic women's flyweight co-main event. Macy Barber, the young kid, she put up a damn good fight, but Alexa Grasso was just too much to handle. Grasso landed 95 of 162 strikes thrown. That's 58.6% in her total strikes landed. She was 46.9%, almost 47% when it came to her significant strikes. She put on a clinic. I heard Dana White after Jack refer to her as what do you call her? The Mexican Ronda
Rousey.
Which, I mean, hey, I understand they're looking to build up people in the division. They're looking for their next Amanda Nunes that they can market and everything. Grasso put on a clinic. Macy Barber, though, like absolutely no shame in her game. How old is she? 22.
She's only 22 years old. She's now an 8-2 fighter with 7 finishes. She's going to end up, she was in the top 10 now. She'll probably fall back, but she'll get a couple more wins probably this year and find herself right in the top 10 again by year's end. In Grasso, she could be on the route to actually fighting Shevchenko for that women's flyweight strap.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to put her in the category of the Mexican Ronda Rousey because we know how dominant Ronda Rousey was. And I'm not going to say that she's one of the top boxers in MMA right now for the women's flyweight division. I mean, sure, like her striking has come such a
She
long
put
way.
on a clinic.
I said that before the fight. I said her striking has gotten better and better every single
Yeah.
time she steps in the octagon, and we saw it get better again on Saturday night. But I think people are falling a little much too into like it wasn't good before and it's gotten so much better. So now we're all just going to try to crown her as one of the best strikers. I don't know if we can put her there yet. She definitely has a complete game. She's a contender in this division. She'll be in the top 10 before the year's out. She could even be fighting for a title before this year's over.
Wouldn't be surprised, man. Wouldn't be surprised. She put on an absolute clinic. I thought the co-main event at UFC 258 was fantastic. The main event, former gym partners. They used to roll together. They were homies. We got Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns. Usman won via third round knockout. Burns hit him early, won the first round, but after that first round and Usman settled in, it was really once that third round started, you knew that fight was ending. Burns was in trouble by then. But I
Yeah.
will say, we have kind of seen a pattern here, and this is no disrespect to Usman. I like Usman. I think he's one of the best welterweights of all time. He's definitely entering the conversation. He's got the longest win streak in welterweight division history now. We're going to talk about the guy he called out after the fight, which I don't like, but certainly he is one of the best to do it. But the first round, man, he got tagged again by Burns. We saw it against Colby. You saw it in some other fights too. Like it seems like one, I, it's impossible to keep a streak up for this long in fighting. Eventually, you're going to get tagged. Is that starting to be something you're looking to focus in on if you're a fighter? Like it seems like the first
Oh,
round, almost it takes him a round to get going, and it almost looks like I think Terry had said on Twitter, like it looks like he's on skates in the first round sometimes, bro. Like his legs were wobbly.
it looks like that could be the game plan going into fighting Usman. And you saw Colby said it after the fight too. He looks like a guy that's getting ready to be knocked out. Like, I mean, Gilbert Burns really hurt him.
Oh
We've seen
yeah, I
Usman
thought he
get
was in
hurt
trouble.
a lot. I'm wondering if his chin is starting to, deteriorate because of these shots he's taking. But let's talk about the guy he called out. He calls out Jorge Masvidal instead of calling out Colby Covington. Masvidal's an easier fight. I know that there's those group of fans that since Masvidal fought him on a short camp, they want to see Masvidal get like the full training camp and all that. I want to see him fight the better fighter. I want to see him do a rematch of that great fight we had between Colby Covington and Usman. That was an unbelievable fight. I want them to run that back. It fascinates me way more. I mean, obviously you can do Colby versus Masvidal too.
That's where
That
it should
intrigues
be.
me.
That fight should be the fight that's going down. We're talking about having Usman and Masvidal as the ultimate fighter coaches when it could have been Masvidal and Colby. Now I don't know the specifics. I know they said they were thinking about it. I know Colby has come out and said some stuff now that kind of sounds like maybe it's Colby being Colby stirring up some conspiracies, but I don't know, man. I thought that was weak sauce to call out Masvidal. Like what do you think if you're Wonder Boy and you're like the only guy in the top 5 that he hasn't fought? You're like, hello?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's the only guy Usman hasn't eliminated.
I mean, Wonder Boy's still like he's pretty far down. I don't believe he's in the top 5 right
I think
now.
he's 5th, isn't he?
I thought he was a little further than I thought he was sitting
Okay,
at like
okay. We'll have to
7.
check that. We'll have to check that. But either way, I mean, he's the only guy within like the top 10 Usman hasn't destroyed.
Yeah, I mean,
I would
I
have
still
liked to
would.
seen them do that fight, do Colby, or not even
Oh,
do that fight. They
you're
don't
right.
even have
Wonder
to.
Boy's sitting at 5 right
Yeah,
now.
cool. Yeah, Wonder Boy's 5th ranked, man. So like, why wouldn't it be Masvidal? Do the tough with Masvidal and Colby. You get Usman to fight Wonder Boy. Usman will beat Wonder Boy, and I respect Wonder Boy, but I just think he'll do exactly what we saw on Saturday night. He just doesn't stop coming forward, man. He doesn't stop coming forward. It's relentless. He's a predator. He's an attacker. You love it. But I think you do that, and then come on, man. Like, what's up with this Masvidal Colby thing? Like, it could be one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. Every time either one of them opens their mouth, they're both so willing to do it. Why hasn't it
Yeah.
happened yet? Why hasn't it happened yet?
I don't know. And to be
I'm
honest,
sick of it.
I don't see this huge fascination with Masvidal. He had that big KO over Ben Askren where it was a
Flying
flying
knee.
knee, like not a whole lot of like that wasn't like almost a real fight. I hate when people say that about like Connor with like Aldo, but like come on, it was a flying knee in like Ben Askren is not the best striker. Ben Askren was looking to take that fight longer and take him to the ground. And then he beats Nate Diaz, who honestly, he's a pretty like middle of the road fighter. He's not a contender. He hasn't been a contender for a very, very long time, if ever. Uh, Masvidal really hasn't beaten anybody to propel me to think he deserves a title shot.
No, and Usman's already beat him before. Now I know he didn't finish him, and maybe he wants to, but is the obvious call out not Covington? Like, listen, say what you want about Colby. I don't think it was a fake
Oh, I don't think it was
stoppage,
fake.
fake ref, fake everything like Colby says. But, you know, a punch that breaks your jaw, that's an unfortunate injury. It's an unfortunate thing. And if they run that back and that jaw doesn't get broken, is he better positioned to get through the rest of the fight? Probably. Now you get Colby back into the ring. He makes pretty easy work of Tyron Woodley. Like pretty easy work. Looks motivated. The person, the money for a Colby Usman rematch would be so much. I don't get the Masvidal call out. It almost felt like they were both screwing Colby. Like it felt like there was some collusion going on here, something. Because for the life of me, the wheels and gears are turning in my head, and I can't make sense of why anybody wants to see that fight.
No, and then who does Colby fight if you have Usman versus Masvidal?
Is he not going to take the Edwards fight?
That doesn't overly interest me, but I mean, Edwards has earned a shot versus one of these guys.
Yeah, no, he deserves it. So like, it's like, yeah, Colby's got to fight him, and then like, why?
It makes more sense to have Masvidal fight Edwards though, and have Colby and Usman run it for the belt.
Yes, man. Like I don't understand where Usman was coming from calling out Masvidal and not Covington with all the history.
I
And
do
listen,
think
and he's admitted he's the only guy who got him to really go to 100%. So it's not like he's a chump. Like, listen, you broke his face and beat him. They had that exchange after the Woodley face thing. I broke your face. You're dead, Marty Fake Newsman. The whole thing. Like, boys, come on, make this fight happen. Or the how can we have Colby Covington in the middle of Masvidal and Usman and his next fight not be either one of those guys? I hate that.
yeah, but I think some of it does stem from the fact that Usman doesn't believe that Masvidal is even close to his level, and he's making that excuse of I had a short camp. And I think that does piss off Usman, which is maybe why you got the call out.
Yeah, he wants to finish him, right? And I get that, but it's like, and I get that he finished Colby, but come on, you broke his jaw, and that's incredible. But I'm not saying it's, dude, no shot's a lucky shot. These guys are trained, man. But it's like,
Yeah.
it's probably if they fight again, he's not going to separate his jaw, and we probably get a more competitive fight. But I get it. Usman didn't finish him. It was a decision. You do want to stop these guys, but it's like, I don't know, man. As a fan first, we do content for this shit, but as a fan first, like, when you talk to me about the idea of Chandler fighting someone like who's he probably going to get, a Gagey or something like
Yeah,
that gets me
that'd be a
almost
good
ready
fight.
to tuck the boner into the waistband. Like Usman versus Jorge keeps me soft still,
Yeah, that doesn't do it for me. And I hope we do get that.
metaphorically and physically. Like
I I
metaphorically, I'm soft.
I don't know if Gaethje will take that fight though, but I would love to see it. It seems like all these lightweights are
It's like the
refusing to
race to
fight
see.
right
It's like
now.
the race to see who won't fight each other, because they're all holding out hope that Khabib gives out the title and they're going to fight Poirier. And Poirier is just looking for red panty night against Connor, who's
Yeah.
looking for
And
revenge. And
Dariush called them all out earlier this week. He was like, "What happened to us being fighters and trying to like fight the most
dude,
competitive
Oliveira
person?"
wouldn't fight Chandler. That's a bad look.
Yeah,
That's
everyone's
a
trying
bad
to
look.
defend their record right
The
now.
only the only guy who is Chandler. I think Chandler would fight any guy within the top 7. I think he'll just take his next
100%.
fight. I think Chandler will do it. The fact that Oliveira thinks that he's so deserving of a title shot that he turned down Chandler. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, listen, Chandler came in and proved he belongs here now. Stop treating him like he's some outsider. Stop treating him like he doesn't belong. He showed damn well that he belongs. You know,
And
Gagey said
Gaethje's
it.
doing the same thing to him.
No, I know. And he said it too. And it's like, are they now worried because they were talking mad shit about him coming over from a lesser promotion in their eyes? You know, you're in the UFC. It's the best promotion, the biggest moneymaker promotion in the world. Your nose gets turned up a little bit. That's over now. He proved he fucking belongs here.
Yeah. And he
It's time
knocked
for
out
one of these
Dan
guys to
Hooker.
make a fight here. If I was Dana White, I'd be fucking pissed, like especially at Oliveira for turning down the fight. I don't understand it, but I know we had brought up Nate Diaz here a little bit back when we were talking the Masvidal thing. He's been talking a lot. He does the sit down with Ariel. I thought some of what he said was awesome. Some of it, what he says is Nate being Nate, but some of it sounded like he doesn't even really watch that much anymore, and he seemed disinterested. Who is his next fight? Who pulls Nate Diaz off the couch?
You know, we just talked about him. I wouldn't mind seeing him versus Charlie Olives there. That wouldn't be a bad fight to watch. Maybe Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. One of those guys. To be honest, Diaz versus McGregor probably isn't going to happen. Connor's
No, because
probably
Poirier
going to
wants
get.
the third fight with him, and Dana does what Connor says anyway. I mean, let's be real. Money talks and bullshit takes the bus, baby. I don't care who it is. He said the same thing with Usman too. Like if that's the guy he wants to fight in Masvidal, and Masvidal wants it, you probably just make the fight. Like some of these guys have earned that right, man, and it all goes on dollars and cents, like we like to
And
say
if
around here.
Oliveira isn't going to get a title shot, which he's not going to get one next. So he might as well take a money fight in a fight that's, I hate to say it, but a very easy probably
I
win
think he
for
could beat
Oliveira.
Diaz.
Or you got to give Tony Ferguson an opponent. And it's tough because I don't think this is the same Tony Ferguson anymore. They still have him
You
ranked
think
at
Diaz
six.
and Tony Ferguson could be a good fight?
I think that would be a very good fight. Two guys that are just going
So
to
do I.
stand in there and go.
Yeah, I think that's a great fight. Now, listen, after Poirier dropped McGregor, I thought there's never been a better time for that trilogy. But the way Connor thought the fight was going to go and his persistence to want to fight him again, and, Poirier calls the shots now. With Khabib on the sidelines, Poirier's the king dog. And if he
Yeah.
wants the Connor fight in the summertime, May or June, I think he's going to get it. I think they're going to make that fight happen. So guys like Oliveira and that need to stop holding out hope. You're not there yet. Listen, give Oliveira anybody next. He should have fought Chandler, and either one of those guys would be sitting pretty for a title shot once Khabib vacates. But Nate Diaz, too, he sits around 170. Is he going to come back for a 155 fight? I don't know. Can he go
I
down to 155?
I think he's full of shit. I think it's Nate being Nate. He's saying that he's going to do 170. No, he's going to fight his next fight at 155. I don't buy it. And the
Okay.
other thing I wonder is, so you heard Dana White come out and say that McGregor versus Poirier will not be for the belt because he still thinks Khabib is going to come back and fight the last man standing out of all these lightweights, which I think he's dreaming. I wonder
It's
if by summertime when that fight's really on the horizon, if he does strip Habib and make it for the
Yeah,
belt.
right now though, he's sitting outside of Khabib's house and got a boombox on, playing like like trying to get him to come out. Listen, like Dana, I love you. I love Dana White, but like it seems like Usman has moved on. Or sorry, no, Khabib. We were just talking about Usman. Seems like Khabib is ready to move on and keep his promise and stay out of fighting. Will he come back one day? Maybe, but I think I know breakups are hard. It's hard to let
It's
go.
it's time. It's
I think
time to
it's
strip
time.
that
I
belt.
think it's time to strip that belt and let go. And Khabib's right too. Like none of these guys, like he'll just smack them all.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know, there was the GSP super fight. It wouldn't be Tarps Off MMA unless we talk about GSP.
we have to
Jack,
talk about GSP every goddamn.
every episode you got me here, I will talk about GSP every single time. Fuck a GSP Khabib fight. Why can't Usman, like if he's already crushed the division, why wouldn't that excite GSP to get off the couch for?
So I mean, are Habib and GSP neighbors right now? Because you're outside of GSP's house. Well, he's outside of Habib's there, both with the boom boxes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, buddy. If GSP's ever wondering who's peering through his window, it's just me. Don't worry about it. No, honestly though, I don't understand why that wouldn't be an interesting fight. Like, I mean, dude, Usman has legitimately murdered the division.
I just GSP hasn't fought in a long
Couple
time,
years against Bisping,
and
right? What was it,
that's the
2 years?
first fight you want him to come back to. That's a much tougher matchup than Bisping. No
Yeah.
offense to
Oh,
Bisping.
believe me, no disrespect to Bisping.
Yeah, no disrespect
Obviously,
there, but holy crap, that's a big ask.
it's a huge ask, man. But I'm just saying, like, how do we keep bringing GSP up for Khabib when Khabib's 155 and GSP it walks around at 180 pounds?
And I completely buy into what Habib's saying. He is a freak when it comes to training, and he says his best physical performance and where he is in his best shape is 155, and he won't go anywhere else because when he fights in the octagon and he wants to be in his best shape, he ain't negotiating on weight. He ain't going up, he ain't going down.
No, and
He's
how could you ask a
fighting at
39-year-old
155.
GSP to go down to 155? You can't ask
You
him to do
can't.
that. You can't. So that fight's never going to happen. Now, could you get GSP to weigh in at a welterweight if you fired enough cash in front of him to fucking take on the guy who's trying to take his legacy in the welterweight division? Listen, Randy Couture was the goddamn champion in his fucking 40s. I know heavyweights are a different division in that, but George is a different animal. That guy's always in shape for a fight. Um, why is that? Like, everyone's talking Khabib, and I get it because people consider George the GOAT, Khabib the GOAT. Usman's not far off here, man.
I
If
think
Usman wrecks
Usman.
Masvidal and then wrecks Covington again, and he wins, like, say, 20 straight fights in the welterweight division, GSP always wants to worry about his legacy. It's like, bro, your legacy might be second to Usman.
Yeah, but then Usman needs to market that fight too, though. He needs to say that he's surpassed GSP because you need to get GSP excited if he's going to fight.
Exactly. And right now,
There-
GSP's
There's
already
only
come out and said, like, probably not.
there's
But,
only
like,
three things that excite GSP. He said they're dinosaurs, women, and when people say he can't do something. So
yeah,
Usman's going to have to say that he's better than GSP if he wants GSP to get into that
but he's
octagon
here
ring.
calling out a guy he already beat before that I think is further down the rankings than some other guys that he should be giving this fight to. I don't understand it. We'll see what happens, man. I'm disappointed about the Covington stuff. They need to get Colby back in the ring. He made such quick work of Tyron Woodley in that last fight. Like he barely even had a scratch on him, man. Get this guy back in
And
the
even
ring.
if you hate him, even if you hate Colby Covington,
Get him in the
you have to admit that the sport is more exciting when he's here. And
dude.
he's a good guy to hate too. He's a good heel.
Dude, you
He's good if
need
you
these
like him.
guys,
Either
man.
way.
Chael Sonnen did it. Bisping did it for a while. You need the bad guys. You need the guys that the fans don't like. You know, he played that whole Trump card perfectly. He's not any different politically than Masvidal. Masvidal was on the fucking Donald Trump Jr. They were going around doing like rallies and shit, like Masvidal and Covington. Like, dude, they're
Yeah.
both kind of birds from the same feather. It's just that um Colby decided to take like that character and just like turn it into like a fighter, like what a fighter would be like if he was Donald Trump running for president.
Yeah. And
I
then he
get it.
comes out to the Kurt Angle, you suck.
Dude, it's
You
dude,
suck.
it's honestly 10 out of 10. He knows exactly what he's doing. The game, listen, hating Colby Covington, loving Colby Covington,
It's all
you
fun.
just said it. The sport is better when Colby Covington is involved. Usman, we're a little disappointed that you want to fight Masvidal, but I get it. You didn't finish it. Jack, let the people know where they can find you on Twitter and wherever else you may be.
You can find me on Twitter at Jack Gotsell, JackGotsell. And you can find me on tarpsoffsports.com. We got it all over there.
That's right, guys. You can follow me on Twitter at cmancuso9797, at Tarps Off Sports on Twitter, at Tarps Off MMA on Twitter, tarpsoffsports.com. We'll catch you guys next time.